that, you kind of need something like those hobbies, like the things that you can do and build and make and create too. And I would say this even applies to art. You need that thing to like give you something that you're like, this is mine. I can do this and I can make this in the midst of all these things I cannot control.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting point because, a lot of the writers that I follow on Twitter, which is most of who I follow aside from like some comedians and my friends, and some of the writers are also my friends. I don't want to make any enemies here, but a lot of them have had a really hard time creating in this time. And I have good times and bad times. I've written, a lot of a new book. But like there were 2 weeks recently where I didn't get very much writing done. It's just because the psychic toll was too much. But, and I'm wondering, if like working with your hands in a way that doesn't always engage, like that allows your body to just sort of take over and your mind to kind of relax a little bit, just focus on what's in front of you. If that might, it's sort of like how going to the gym used to feel for me. Of course, I don't go to the gym anymore because that's a
Because nope.
Yeah, because no, never again. Be around other people's fluids? No, thank you.
I'm good. People going, no, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I think there is some, I don't know though, because for me, projects are as mental as they are physical in a lot of ways. Like you can't just like, like, can you just throw seeds out into the fucking ground and hope that it grows?
No.
Sure. But I mean, like, there is like a planning that goes into it, and I think it's in tandem almost, that you use your hands to make something. I don't know. It just feels good too. I think that's really it. Like you feel good. You're like, oh, I fucking put that seed in the ground and I fucking planted that thing and I watered it every fucking day. Or in the case of, redoing a garage, you're like, I hung that drywall, I taped the joint compound into it. I'm going to sand it and paint it when it's done, like.
Yeah. But would you, I guess what I'm thinking is, you could do those things, they require thought and planning, but maybe not a peaceful state of mind. They can help you achieve the peaceful state of mind.
Yeah. I mean, because there are still days too also where I'm like, nah, I'm going to just fucking play video games. I don't know. Like, I want to go work in the garden. I want to go. I mean, I water the garden every day because you fucking have to. That's how it works. But like, I don't have to fix the garage every day, and I don't.
That's how plants work.
That's how life works.
It's true.
But I don't go do the garage every day. But it is a project that I'm working on. It is very my hands, crowbars and whatnot.
For me,
Let me just say, I haven't created art either, and I play music. I do art. I've created a little here and there, but like it's very hard for me to focus on that right now.
And I think that's part of it is that the inspiration from art usually comes from turmoil and everything, but the actual generation of art, for me at least, happens best whenever I'm in sort of a
good place.
Yeah, a good place. And I think for me, I'm just generally such an anxious person that all of this most days doesn't feel that much worse than what I walk around with all the time. Yeah. So like in a way, it's kind of like I've been waiting for this my whole life.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you guys aren't ready for this? I am.
Yeah, I've been worrying about this since I popped out of my mom.
Oh,
Yeah. So I think that's part of why I've been able to work. But like on those other days, it's just like,
Yeah. I think it feels like everything is amplified, and you just can't even, to take a parent phrase.
Yeah. So no, that's good. So what I've been doing isn't nearly as constructive as
what are you talking about? You rebuilt an 1840 steamer trunk that by hand. That was impressive as hell.
That's true, but it was only to store my vintage pornography collection.
Well, yes, but
which is film preservation. Let's not.
Right. Yeah. And that's why you had you made that steamer trunk into a humidifier as well. You programmed a Raspberry Pi to,
which I learned about from you.
Right. Yesterday, by the way, which shows how good you are at these sorts of things.
Yes.
And then you made that humidifier, and now it preserves those films.
Yeah, and they're actually films. They're like on a spool and everything. Yeah. We're not talking about VHS.
Because why would you need a humidifier for that?
Porno Depot. Coming fall 2021.
Spelled UM. All right, that was a little old school.
That's true. That was more like OG.
That was those episodes never happened. They were pre-crisis.
Right before the purifying event that streamlined our continuity.
Yes. We should have a name for that. I don't know what it is.
Daryl's first marriage.
Well, yeah, I would consider that. I would consider
that's a crisis. That's where it
right. No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's exactly what I was like. That point was where everything fractured, and I ended up. That's, to be honest with you, COVID-19 is because of that moment in time.
This is the crossover event that brings us back together, like that the fans have been demanding.
Yes. They're like, in a world where Sean and Daryl might die, they finally decide to do video chat and record shows together.
And so now people a week sighed in relief.
20 listened to the first episode and they lost 75% of their listenership. More than 75%. But anyway.
We're building a content library.
This is what Disney Plus is going to pay us for one day.
Exactly. Yeah, they're really going to want to hear that joke.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to. Here's the thing: the streaming wars. It's almost like Skynet, right? Like they need more. They need more content. Right. They need more.
And eventually, they're going to run out of like high quality shit, and then they're going to be fighting over shit like this podcast.
And they're going to be like, "What do your archives consist of?" And we're like, "It's 550 episodes, about an hour long each, where we just talk about dumb shit that make us laugh." And they're like, "Perfect. Here's $45." And we're like, "So
$45."
It's the streaming wars, Sean. There's a lot of people dead at this point.
I don't care.
Also, to be fair, Disney at that point, that was at gunpoint.
Oh, okay.
It was under duress.
So we're still pitching them, but the reward is our lives.
Yes. They're like $45 and we won't fucking kill you. And we're like, sold, baby.
Sold. What do you want to do with your 22 and a half?
I don't know. We can't go to McDonald's anymore. Fucking Burger King took them out in the corporate wars of the corporate fast food wars.
Burger King has a chance against McDonald's?
Alliances. Burger King is the ultimate fast food behind the scenes. They're the godfather of the fast food. Why do you think they've been around so long? Who do you know that eats a fucking Burger King? How do they stay open?
I mean, I eat at Burger King, but that's because I live out in the woods, and that is the closest hamburger to me. Like, there's nothing closer than Burger King.
In the city, no one eats Burger King. You eat Burger King out of necessity, not because...
I need that hamburger.
Right. But, yes, so, yeah, I do think Burger King, they would team up. Here's the thing. Burger King makes the play with Yum brands. They've got Long John Silver's. They've got Pizza Hut. They've got Taco Bell. They've got KFC. They're set.
I think Burger King might already be associated with Yum, aren't they?
I have no idea.
And PepsiCo.
I don't know that either. They used to own Yum, but I don't think they do anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was back in 1999. That's about where my knowledge of
fast food corporate histories. Is that a degree that you could get? You think?
Yeah.
Is it a job? Is it a job you could make yourself? Could you become like the premier fast food historian?
I think that companies with enough history probably have that job. Maybe not for like the entire landscape, but for that company. You know, like I know Disney's got them, and I'm sure that like.
You think Burger King does though? Because they've been around for a while.
They might. I mean, it's at least part of somebody's job if it's not their entire job.
What if it was independent, though? This is a podcast, isn't it? This is my next podcast.
Yeah. Burger Chat. No,
Burger
it's
Chat?
way bigger than that. Not Burger Chat. It's let's see. Let's workshop a name here.
It's not Fast Food Nation because I would get sued.
No. Fast Food World. No. Corporate structure land. I don't know, man. I'm doing it's getting worse.
It's supposed to be getting easier, not worse. Not harder. It's fine. We'll figure it out one day. And then I'll be on like other people's podcasts. They'll be like, we're doing a podcast about McDonald's. Here's fast food historian.
An expert.
Right. And I'll be a talking head. Like this is a goal for me, I think, in 2021 is to become the preeminent fast food historian and be on like CNN and like MSNBC and not Fox.
So here's how you start. You write a memoir about our friendship in McDonald's.
Okay.
And how figurative it was, right? And you do a deep dive into McDonald's in the late 90s and early 2000s because that's probably the McDonald's you know best.
Right, it is.
I mean, we've both eaten there far longer than we ever went to high school, but that was when we were there every day.
Yeah.
So much so that the manager would give us free food and stuff.
Yeah. She was a really nice lady. I appreciated that.
Yeah, she gave us like a free McRib. She was like, just try it.
She did. I was like, I think that, I don't know who ate it. I didn't eat it. I was like, no, I'm good.
Sergio might have eaten it. I didn't eat it either.
I'm
nuggets.
I've actually never had a McRib.
Yeah, me neither. And I don't feel like
I'm missing out on anything.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
I was going to say, I also am sort of morally opposed to seasonal items on fast food menus because if I fall in love with something at a restaurant, I want to be able to order it every time. Oddly enough, this doesn't like extend to Starbucks where I'm like, no, man, you got to have like.
You better have the fucking pumpkin spice in June.
The pumpkin spice must flow. But for like McDonald's or something. For example, Becca, my wife, really likes Taco Bell, and every time she sends me to get drive-through, because I'm the drive-through guy, she makes me ask if they've got nacho fries, and 9 times out of 10, no nacho fries. Like, people love the nacho fries, Taco Bell. They do.
And did you see the commercial for the nacho fries? It was some of the best, like, commercial that I have ever seen in my life. So good on you, Taco Bell. You really got me with those commercials. Yeah. It wasn't like there was someone Timothy Oliphant was in them. No, it wasn't Matt Damon. Was it Matt Damon? It could have been Matt Damon. I don't know.
I feel like he was in one of them. Maybe not the most recent one.
It was almost like it was one of those commercials, almost like that. I don't know. You're not a huge Beastie Boys fan, but like the Sabotage video, just like this.
I do know that video.
This weird, like, out of place, because that commercial was so out of place on like today's like television advertising landscape, right? Yeah. That's why you were like, what the fuck is this? And I mean, I gotta be honest, it got me. I tried the fucking nacho fries. I don't really like them, but like I tried them because of that fucking commercial. So they
right. It was effective advertising, at least for you.
It absolutely was. So I understand exactly why Burger King made the play the way that they did.
Good job, Burger King. Mm-hmm. Taco Bell.
So do you have any other topics you want to bring up for discussion? I've got one or two.
Not really. I mean, we could shoot the shit, but honestly, I feel pretty here's the thing about being a novelist is you're thinking about the same thing every day for months, and it doesn't make for the most scintillating conversation because it's the same thing as last week or the week before. So please spice up my life, Daryl, as the Spice Girls would say.
Well, it's not, and as they forever will, because in my America, they're gonna be the national anthem singers. We're gonna redo the whole thing.
That British girl band.
Yes. I'm gonna run to the not to the right or left of Donald Trump. I'm just gonna run to like the absurd.
You're just gonna run through time backwards to that other dimension.
Yes, as we've alluded to. Here is a topic that perhaps we could tackle before we go.
Sex.
Good. Well, we tackled that in previous life